Have you ever sat down at a Mexican restaurant and started eating those chips, or maybe an Italian restaurant, and you just can't help yourself to not eat the bread? In this episode, I want to break down why that happens and how women over 40 can start making simple, intentional choices around food without dieting. So if this is you and you ever feel out of control around food or snacking, this will help to plant some ideas in your head to start to shift that pattern. Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michele, mama 4 and military wife, and I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. All right, so let's imagine that you sit down at a Mexican restaurant and you know that even the meal that you're going to order is more than what you need. And they bring those chips to the table. Maybe there's salsa. Some restaurants even now have queso. And everyone at the table starts eating the chips. And you love chips and the salsa or the queso, whatever that is. And you just feel like you cannot help yourself. Like you can't control it. So you start eating without thinking. You might even think, I'm just going to have a few. But then you keep going. And you just cannot stop reaching for those. And then they say, hey, do you want refills? And you guys get refills. And then your meal comes and it's one of your favorites. And you eat that. And by the end of the meal, you are just stuffed. You know you've ate too much and it doesn't feel good. And you just don't feel good about yourself because you really didn't want to do that either. And this whole time, it's almost like you're not even choosing. It's like the chips are right there and it's like you're sort of on autopilot. Sometimes we fight it a little bit. Sometimes we don't. And maybe you're thinking, they're here. I might as well eat them. I'll just have a few. It doesn't matter. And then by the time you get to your meal, you're like, I already ate all those chips. It doesn't matter how much I eat now. And you're sort of checked out. You sort of given up on yourself. So you keep eating. So we have to shift this pattern that is going on if we want to do something different. And this is where a lot of times diets fail us, right? Or we might be able to follow a diet for a certain amount of time. But right, this is life. Going out to a restaurant with people, having this food around us. And this is what matters for our long-term sustainable health, that we're able to be in choice. I like to use those words, sort of like in control, in choice around food. So a good thing to do is to later or before, what was I thinking in that moment? Was I even hungry? Did I actually want them? Did that make me feel good? Why couldn't I stop after a few? What were I making these chips and this eating mean? What would it felt like to have sat there and not eat them? For most people, the answer is going to be uncomfortable. So we have to start digging in these experiences to see what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and what's going on to point us to what we actually want. Because a lot of times we're just going on autopilot, right? We've always gone to the Mexican restaurant. We've always ate a bunch of chips and always ate too much. And we can change that. And this is where most women get stuck. You know what you want to do, but in that moment, you don't do it, right? Like someone might have had that thought, I shouldn't eat chips, or I'm going to have a few. And then they're reaching for more and more without thinking. They're rationalizing why they're doing it. And this is what I love helping women with because, right, it's easy to like go to some coach and this is the meal plan that you need to follow. But it doesn't solve these problems that happen in real life. So sometimes this is the deeper work that we need to do. And we need someone to help us work through those thoughts and to help us change those patterns. And right, those thoughts and those patterns are a little bit different for everybody so that they can start to have freedom and they can be in choice around food. So this is something that I do with my coaching clients. We work with these real life situations, whatever they are for each person, to get them to habits, to get them to start thinking intentionally and really finding the sustainable way for them to lose weight and to be healthy and feel good about themselves. Because when I do this work with my clients, then they start to shift, and it's not always perfect, but they start to shift and they start to have more confidence. They start to feel better. They start to feel in choice around food and not that like food is controlling them. So I encourage you that if you feel like you've been stuck in patterns, to reach out for support. I offer a free health coaching call, and it's just a way to share your struggles, what's going well, what you want to work on, and to see if we would be a fit together. So in the description of this podcast, you will find a link where you can set up a free call with me. All right, so I want to give just another example. So it's sort of the same pattern, but it's in a different situation. Because I think as you're listening, hopefully you can sort of think like, what are these situations that I get into that I'm doing the same things that isn't really what I want to do, but I don't know how to change it. So maybe you go to a party and you're going to be there for hours. So food is out, like appetizers are out, snacks are out. You know there's going to be a meal and you're grazing the whole time, a little here, a little there. Then you have a full meal and like you've just been eating the whole time. Maybe your thoughts are, this is just what we do at parties. I can't just stand here and not eat anything. I'll just have a little more. Oh, this was really good. I want to go get some more of it. And again, we're not really choosing. Our brain is going on autopilot. We're doing what we've always done. And we're negotiating with ourselves. We're telling ourselves, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I've already ate this. I might as well eat that. And it really doesn't bring us to where we want to be. Right? We're letting food have this control over us. But we can change those patterns. And so I love being able to talk with clients and making a plan. And it's a little bit different for everybody. So maybe we talk about making a plate ahead of time that you're not going to graze off the table. And with both of these, the example of the restaurants and at the party, being okay with not eating. Man, that's a hard one, right? Because we can just feel uncomfortable if like those chips come to the table and everyone else is eating and we're not. It's like this compulsion to just eat because everybody's eating. But deep down, we know like we don't need those chips. We can just wait for 15 more minutes and enjoy our meal. So being able to really work through those feelings and what is going on, being able to tolerate an uncomfortable feeling. Like I really love to use my emotional freedom EFT tapping techniques with clients to be able to help them tolerate an uncomfortable feeling. And wow, how powerful does that start to feel when we know we can be in a situation where we might feel a little uncomfortable, but we actually have a tool and a way to handle it. And then we get through it and we're like, it's not that bad. So I want you to think for yourself, what is your pattern? And remember, it's not about, in my examples, it's not about the chips or the party. It's this pattern that you have. And are there thoughts and feelings in those patterns that you keep coming to that are not leading you to the outcome you want? Right? Because we have a thought that creates a feeling and we take an action or we don't take an action. And then we get that result and we can start to shift those when we know how to work with those thoughts. And that's what I like doing when I do mindset work with myself or with clients or friends. Because it all comes back to what we're thinking. And that is something we can change. We're not in some powerless position. When it comes to something like that, we can make changes in how we're thinking and thus the actions that we're taking. So if you sort of keep repeating some of the same cycles in food, maybe it's like an after dinner snack or ice cream, and you really don't feel in control around food, you don't feel like you're in choice, like it feels like the food or the situation is controlling your choices, this is exactly what I help with. So remember, just reach out if you need support. I don't know how many people I talk to, whether it's for me or also people who need help in other areas and are reaching out to other people. We often wait so long to reach out for support. And it's the thing that we need. right? Because we just don't know what we don't know. Everybody has their different specialties. So if you know you need support, reach out, take that next step to get it. And sometimes that can feel really uncomfortable. But if you know it's what you need, I encourage you to just take that uncomfortable step. All right, friends, I hope that you guys have a great week and be on the lookout for what that pattern is for you.